Heirs on air. We back in the building. Oh, fuck. I didn't want to do that.
All right, hold on. All right. Okay.
All right, here we go.
Heirs on air, back in the building. What is up, guys? It's your boy, Dante Jr., out here with Dante Sr., a.k.a. my pops, my dad, the OG. You know how it is. What's going on, Dad? How's it been?
Oh, man, everything is good. Everything is great. I like the intro. I like the intro for the young boy, but everything's good with me. How are you today? What's going on?
Not much, just chilling, just doing my own thing, just winging it. That's all I'm doing.
Well, that's cool. That's cool. We posted our first video with Obama critiquing black men, and for whatever reason, he felt like saying that. But this week, there was if you saw it, Dante, there was a lot of fallout. Were you able to catch that this week?
I was able to catch a few videos like through YouTube that I've seen, but so far not many. But
okay. The fallout has kind of been all over the news. It has been everywhere. Where Obama's words, people kind of reading into them, people talking about the outreach, MSNBC, they went to a black barbershop. There was so much content out there this week. And we just want to kind of circle back and see what type of impact Obama or his words are having, because what we feel like that this is Obama's October surprise. And unfortunately, Kamala Harris's campaign is going to take the brunt of this and pay the price, in my opinion.
The backlash, nah.
And Obama's not running. So the backlash is clearly going to be felt by Kamala's campaign. So, hey, man, what can we do? So the first video here we're going to see is going to be Wendell Pierce. Wendell Pierce, you know him, I know him, we all know him. Wendell Pierce, Tony Award winning actor. He played on Suits. He currently plays on Elsbeth. But most of us, depending on where you noticed him from, he played Detective Bunk Moreland on The Wire.
So you're my eyeball witness, huh? So why'd you step up on this?
Bird trifling, basically. Kill an everyday working man and all. I mean, don't get it twisted. I do some dirt too, but I ain't never put my gun on nobody who wasn't in the game.
A man must have a code.
So that's where a lot of us know it from. So this is what we're first going to take a look at is going to be his appearance on CNN and, what people had to say about Obama's words. Here we go.
And I'm speaking to men directly now. Part of it makes me think that, well, you just aren't feeling the idea of having a woman as president.
So we're going to pause it there really quickly. I just wanted to, kind of give a little bit more information on this. So after Obama said what he said, Wendell Pierce, he proceeded to post, this message here that is reflected. He posted on Twitter. Awful message. The party has to stop scapegoating black men. Black men aren't the problem. White men and white women are. Jesus Christ. No other group votes at 87 to 90% for Dems, but black folk, men and women. That is a false flag. Black men voted for Trump is insignificant. This accusatorial tone will make some black men stay at home, which is worse. Black men are questioning our party to find out where their loyalty for decades earns them. That's good. That's healthy. Democrats have the record to stand on and should embrace the challenge. But after touring this country, specifically engaging black men, I will not let my party leaders speak condescending towards them. Okay, Wendell Pierce, I agree. I agree with everything he said there.
Yeah, I agree too. Like, it's just not much to go against, really.
Yeah, but it was Obama's words. This is what I mean. The fallout from Obama's words. Everyone heard what he said as we played at the very beginning. There was nothing good you could take from that. I don't understand. I don't know what world this condescending nature from Obama where he thinks it works, because clearly it does not. No one, well, can't say no one. Few celebrities, probably people who are friends with Obama are like, yeah, that was the right thing. But we're going to get to that later. So, let's get more into what Wendell Pierce had to say during his CNN interview. Here we go.
I've known the president for years now, and a mutual
contact, said that he wanted to speak. I wanted to speak to him. So I was saying simply, that's not the way to get to folks. What I've experienced in the past 6 weeks is the facts. Folks want to see, what have you delivered?
Did he acknowledge that it was not delivered the right way?
We actually didn't get into which was better or if it was criticism. It was saying that we were on the same page.
Okay. He said he didn't get into the criticism, but just to acknowledge that they were on the same page. After reading this, awful message. I will not let my party leaders speak condescending towards them. The party has to stop scapegoating black men. I'm not reading it that way. What do you think?
I would say the same thing, because it doesn't really, like, I mean, it depends on how he was thinking, like what his thought process was on writing this whole message out, but it's not really adding up to me. This doesn't yeah.
No, I get it. All right, let's get back to it.
Coleman, we had you on last week when this happened. You were critical of it then. And you probably believe, I assume, that there is some movement toward the right among black men.
I mean, we've been talking about that not only on this show, on other shows on this network for over a year. Pew has been studying this issue. There is a clear trend among black men towards the Republican Party and away from Democrats. It's not just about Trump or Biden or Kamala. It's about a party effect. And the question is, why is that? I think it's even bigger than black men. I think it's men in general.
And the trend that you're talking about is not that, it will not be that significant.
It's on the
will not
margins.
be, it's on the margins, and those 2 or 3 points may add up to something, and that's why we're engaging black men. And those 2 or 3 points may add up to something, and that's why we're engaging black men. That's why the vice president has put out a platform to answer some of those challenges.
Just a key question.
Interesting. So let me take that last part first. So he said that that's the reason that we're reaching out to black men, because that small percentage could turn into something bigger. Now, he may have misspoke there. So that's why Kamala's campaign is reaching out, because that small number could be significant. I don't think that's what he meant to say, because that'd be kind of messed up if it was like, hey, okay, so if those 2 or 3 or 4% was insignificant, then we wouldn't reach out to black men. And now that it could be significant, now let's reach out to them now. That's how I took that last part. What do you think?
Right. Yeah, I'll say, because it's like you're backtracking. It's like, oh yeah, they don't matter. Oh, but now they matter since the way things are going. Oh, hey, we need as much help as we can get. It's like, why change? If that's really the case, why change? Why change like that now? And especially since it's like that now, people really don't want to, are guaranteed to not really stick behind you, or stick with you, I should say.
Yeah. And they're reaching out now because they need us. Now they see, this may be bigger than what it is. And now some of these swing states, Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania, black men either don't vote or vote for Trump. Now this could cost her the election. I'm sure the election is going to be settled by less than 5,000 votes. I think whoever's going to win is going to be less than 5,000 votes in those swing states. So it could be significant. But now you want to pander and come out with the plan for black men after you've recognized that we are significant?
It's like,
Oh no.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like a desperation attempt. Like, oh shit, like shit's really hitting the fan. So like, hey, we really need you guys. So, but it's like, but the thing is, it's like with the whole Obama and then the shaming attempt, when does that ever work? And it's like for Obama himself, he should know better. It's like that shouldn't even be considered.
Yeah.
To do something like that.
And like you said, when has it ever worked? And you're talking to a bunch of grown men like we don't have brains for ourselves, and we're somehow missing it with Kamala. Like, I don't want to vote. Well, the way that they're framing, in my opinion, is they want you to vote against Trump, right? I want to vote for Kamala or for Trump. Don't just tell me to vote against someone. That makes no sense.
Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Because it is because I mean, thinking of it like that is like that's how most people are doing it anyways. It's just like, hey, as long as it's not Trump, then
No.
I won't say most people, but there's people that think like that. As long as it's not Trump, then hey, I'll vote for such and such.
I agree. That's how people are operating, but that's not the way I'm operating. I am 100% not doing that. But even getting back to Kamala's plan for black men, Philip Scott, he perfectly dissected Kamala's plan for black men, and we are going to get back into that right now.
Your favorite vice president of the United States of America, boy, she tried to pull a fast one on black men. Oh, she tried to pull a fast one. She put out a plan talking about, oh, she got something for black men. Well, now she had to come out with her campaign and admit that she tried to finesse black men into voting for her. Boy, you Democrats and Kamala, shame on you for that. Let's go ahead and check this out. Boom, as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, the Wall Street Journal. Kamala Harris's agenda for black men will be open to all, coming directly from her campaign. That's from the Wall Street Journal. So that was a whole finesse, right? But we supposed to go out and vote for her. It said the campaign says the program listed under the agenda for black men will be open to all Americans on a race-neutral basis. So that whole thing was a waste of time. And y'all say, see, she got an agenda for black men.
Shout out to Philip Scott. I don't know why you said it like that. Oh, but what do you think, Dante? I mean, clearly it was supposed to be a plan for black men, but it's really a plan for everyone. What do you think?
I mean, if it was a plan for everybody, then why would you choose black men for? Like, what's the whole reason for it? And it goes to show even more. It's just like you just want to pander to a certain demographic of people, and it's just like, and that clearly didn't work at all, and it was worse. It made everything worse because people's response was just like, you can't do that, or it's like morally wrong to do that.
Well, just like Philip Scott said, first it was for black men, then it was for everyone. And as you just said, why are you pandering? And you're pandering things that aren't even true. Most people pander and it's true. It just seems like a self-inflicted wound. And I feel like this is Obama's October surprise for Kamala. Like his words have just exacerbated any problems that she has, and it's just multiplied the impact of them, and it's just putting a glaring spotlight on everything she does.
Yeah, that is true, because it's just, I mean, with that being said, would that even, like, is there even a race that needs to be to like keep going?
You mean in the presidential election?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, there's a purpose to keep going, because although people have these questions about Kamala, in the end, it's going to be a competitive race because so many people dislike Trump. They dislike his personality. They think about when he was in office, and Trump is Trump. For what it's worth, you know who Trump is, right? I think Kamala has a problem with being like inauthentic. Like, she's going to say this program is for black men today, and then tomorrow she's going to say it's for everyone. Today her favorite pet is dogs, and tomorrow her favorite pet is cats. I think she's just going to say whatever she needs to say to get elected, and then get in office and completely do whatever she wants. That's just my opinion.
No, it's true, because it's just like, it's basically like them two just like putting out their resume, and it's just like one's shit in the bed and one's just doesn't give a fuck. That's basically how it goes. It's like,
that is true.
It's like just saying whatever one wants to hear, just like, oh yeah, I did this and that. Oh yeah, I'm such a great worker. My friends, I love my friends. Da, 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 da. And the other one's just like, here I am, hire me. Like,
And that's the thing about Trump. People can say whatever they want. Trump is authentic. He is who he is. He's going to say some off the cuff things occasionally. He's going to lie. He's going to embellish. But I don't think that anybody would say that he's fake. If anybody knows Trump, that's just who he is. And I'm not even a Trump supporter. I'm just looking at it objectively, being an independent, saying this side versus that side.
See, you can't say that now. They'll still turn your words and say you're a Trump supporter. That's the thing. You know how the internet goes.
I believe me, I know how it goes. and with that being said, more fallout from Obama's words and his celebrity. I don't want to call them panderers, but now you have multiple celebrities coming out trying to ride Barack Obama's coattails, saying that But you know what? I'm not going to step on their words. I'm going to let them speak for themselves.
All right.
Well, it's sad but true. Some of my brothers have been drinking that Kool-Aid.
Oh my God.
And I just hope that they get their minds straight, get their minds right in time for this election. If they're conscious, if they're aware, there's nothing that this other guy can do that's going to put us, not just black folks, but Americans in a better position going forward. So I urge, and I got to give credit to President Obama, because he's been going really hard on the brothers. Some might think too hard, but I don't think so. We got to wake up, and don't go for the okie doke, the flim flam. Can't do that. We got to support our sister.
And let me tell you something, Mr. Spike Lee, who has made your living because of black people. And you turning around and getting pimped out by the Democratic Party and got the nerve to come on MSNBC talking about, I think my brothers are drinking the Kool-Aid. I think these people need to rethink the choices that they are making. Well, let me tell you something, because maybe you don't live in the real world like the rest of us. The average American makes around $50,000 a year, Mr. Spike Lee. Is that what you make? Why don't you try living on that? Why don't you try feed your family on $50,000 a year? Why don't you try taking that just for 1 month, divide $50,000, subtract the taxes, and use that to feed your family. Use that to pay your rent or your mortgage. Use that to support yourself and your family for 1 month, Mr. Spike Lee. For 1 month, I want to see you do it. And then try to come back and tell somebody else that they drinking the Kool-Aid.
Ooh, okay. Shout out to content creator. Hey, Heidi Joy on TikTok. I'm gonna throw it to you, Dante. I'm gonna let you have this one. I'm gonna let you have the first shot at this one. Go for it.
There's one thing I really just don't understand. It's just like how people like Spike Lee does something like this. Just like how Heidi Joy said, "Hey, you getting pimped out by the Democratic Party," and which is like, I mean, you can't be further from the truth when you say that. But it's just like, how do you? Would I say sell out? Nah, that's not the necessary term. But it's just like you really thought, like, after all this time of you building yourself and all that, and you were like really for the people and all that, like all the acting gigs you got, all the I know you're a hardcore Knicks fan and everything, all the stuff you did, and now you go ahead and do this.
Yeah, like she said, he pimped out his credibility, right? He pimped out his integrity. For what? And then to also combat that and say, I don't think Barack Obama went hard enough on black men. Really? Here's a black woman absolutely cooked you, Spike Lee. I bet you he won't say one word. He's going to take his little funny looking glasses and he's going to sit them on the table and he ain't going to say a word. It's, you know what? This is the thing. I don't even think he's being paid, because none of Kamala's policies impact him or his wealthy friends, just like Barack Obama. Nothing that she is going to implement impacts them. Right? Like the woman said, most Americans' average salary is, I think it's below 50,000. No, let's say Spike Lee makes $5 million a year. Do you think any of Kamala's policies impact him?
No.
He's just pimping out his credibility, his integrity, to try to get her elected so he can go to the White House and meet with her, and he can go to these luncheons and these fundraisers and just be sitting there shaking hands and taking pictures with the president. That's it. That's all. He's not even getting paid. But he will pimp out his integrity. Heidi Joy, thank you for that term. Okay. With that being said, we're not gonna slow this train down. We're gonna keep it moving. So Heidi Joy, she Pastor Jamal Bryant. She has a word for Mr. Pastor Jamal Bryant. So here we go.
You said something is wrong with brothers who don't know how to support a sister.
Yeah. Full stop.
And Mordecai was man enough to know that in order for me to be a man, I got to know how to support a woman. Something is wrong with brothers who don't know how to support a sister.
Hey, bro, come on now, dog. Come on, man.
It was a sister that raised you. It was a sister that taught you how to read. It was a sister that taught you how to bathe yourself.
In the context of the vice president, were you trying to send a message?
That we've got to be able to vote that misogyny is still real in our community. We've got to address it head on and not act like it doesn't exist.
And now we got Pastor Jamal Bryant, and these people have the nerve. Pastor Jamal Bryant talking about it's something wrong with brothers who don't support a sister. It was a sister who raised you. It was a sister who taught you how to read. Man, you need to stop and focus on what God called you to do, which is correct the house of God. You need to focus on that instead of trying to tell black people what they ought to do, how they ought to do it, and when they ought to do it. You need to be quiet and get yourself back in line. Make sure you living according to God's word before you try to correct black people.
Okay. Heidi Joy, shout out to her. We will definitely include her TikTok in the description. So Dante, I know this is slightly out of your realm, right? Like, being a young man, 25 years old. Do you know who Pastor Jamal Bryant is?
Not one clue.
Huh?
No.
Because when she said, get your house in order, make sure your affairs are in order, it was interesting. And, she seems like a nice, respectable lady. She didn't really go into details. So Pastor Jamal Bryant, right? Here he is. Apparently, man, these pop-ups are crazy. So apparently Pastor Jamal Bryant's private life, as we can see here, has gotten him in all types of public trouble. His promiscuity ended his marriage, led to allegation that he impregnated a 17-year-old girl, and most recently involved him in a custody and child support battle with LaToya Odom, the mother of his youngest child. In 2015, Odom sued Bryant, demanding child support. Bryant acknowledged that the child was his and said that he had been paying child support in an attempt to handle matters outside of court. But when Odom kept harassing him, he stopped making payments and left it up to the judge to decide. So, Dante, that is a little bit of background on Pastor Jamal Bryant. He even says he remained silent on the controversy, and then he ultimately said, God ain't finished with me. So, So that is who Pastor Jamal Bryant is. As you know, some of these pastors, they like the what's the word I want to look for? What's the word I'm looking for? They like to associate with their congregation. They like to they like to be hands-on with their flock. So what do you got to say before I go on my little diatribe here? What do you have to say about this?
Leave it to a pastor to both tell you and show you what not to do. To show you what, and also show you what's morally wrong. Like that's insane. And it'd be like kind of hypocritical about it, because it's like you do, like, I'm pretty like, I don't know. That's just weird because it's just he's like say like a guy's supposed to lead by example, do all this good and all that, and then you end up doing this, and then
Yeah.
you,
But, oh no, go ahead.
I was like, and then you like not really double down, but then you just like God ain't finished with me yet. It's like, what is that?
Yeah.
What you mean?
But what did he say? Support a sister, right? Isn't that what he said? Isn't that what he said? Support a woman? Like we don't know how. So I'm not really into the whole gossipy thing, but was he supporting his wife or was he supporting his mistress?
Exactly.
I'm just trying to figure it out. You know what I mean? And the fact that the age, I know, and there's 3 articles that I looked at, and there's actually a great YouTube video a woman did kind of dissecting Pastor Jamal Brown. Yeah, we'll include that also in the description. It's just I don't really understand how he's coming out saying that black men, there's something wrong with us or whatever, and you got to learn how to support a woman and all this other stuff. But his hands aren't clean. His hands are not clean at all. His hands are all dirty, and he's pointing his finger at us, trying to tell us what to do. Get your own house in order. Like Heidi Joy said, like, come on, man. We ain't going for this. Spike Lee said, we ain't going for the flim flam. We ain't going for it. We're not going to focus on, what these celebrities have to say. We're not going to do that. There's something wrong with black men, right? There's something wrong with people voting for the other side. But, I wanted to show what is it that Trump supporters are actually saying. Just a couple of things. Like I said, there's so much information out there, but what are these Trump supporters actually saying? So here we go.
Beyonce, Eminem, Magic Johnson, Usher, any celebrity you can pull out of your bag of tricks. They're not Jesus, and we don't care what they say. We don't care. We like their music. We listen to their music. We see their lavish lifestyles. They're not in a struggle like we are. We don't care what no celebrity says. Our minds are made up. We have voted for Trump 2024. Good luck.
Yeah, they thought we was stupid. They thought we was ignorant. Black folks have woken up. We've turned our back on the Democratic Party. You can no longer use race and religion to sway us into voting for some bullshit. Yeah. We voting for policies, okay? America is fucked up. And how the fuck is we gonna make it better voting for the same motherfuckers that's in control right now? So Obama, Magic Johnson, and the rest of you some more bitches, sit the fuck down and shut the fuck up. We got this.
We're not your little niggas. Like, for real, all that big homie stuff, that's for little niggas. Little niggas have big homies.
Shout out to Mace. I couldn't put it better myself. So shout out to Mace. Well, like I said, a couple of things from Trump supporters. The woman, she was very nice. I liked at the end. She was like, good luck. Like, and then, old boy came in at the end and he was just like, he was a little bit more vulgar with it, but that's how you feel. That's how he feels. Like black folks, Democrats, America as a whole, what have we gotten from Democrats in the past, or Republicans? This isn't specifically a Democrat-Republican issue, but for black people voting for Democrats at such a high level, it does make black people look and say, hey, what have we gotten for all this? And you look back and there isn't much. There isn't much. Barack Obama passed the ACA, and I believe he passed the Marriage Equality Act. What does that really do for either one of us? Nothing. But what do you have to say about the Trump supporters and their words?
I mean, for the Trump supporters, hey, vote for whoever you want to vote for. Whatever reason you have, go ahead and do it. It's like no judgment against you, just like no judgment against the Kamala supporters.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like you said, thinking back, it's like, what was there for us to gain? Like, let's really be honest about it. And like, based on me seeing how the policies are for both of them,
mm-hmm.
Some of them are similar, but
yeah,
it's I could see why people would vote for Trump, because based on Kamala, it seems like those taxes are going to be raised. Like,
Yeah.
a lot.
Well, I mean, Trump also has on his side the border and Kamala's disastrous, because she was the border czar, like her disastrous kind of handling of the border, and all these crimes being committed, people being murdered, car accidents, from people who are the migrants or whatever they want to call them, illegal aliens, whatever term they want to use. And Trump, as I said last time, he wants a mass deportation effort. But even with that being his policy, I don't know how he's going to pull it off. Like, I don't know if the federal government has the apparatus to remove all of these people. I get it. He's using it as a talking point, and maybe he wants to stem the further illegal immigration coming into the country. But for the people that are already here, I don't know how he gets them out. But Kamala wants them to have a pathway to citizenship, which I don't believe. I believe probably less than 30% of Americans support that. So she's stuck between a rock and a hard place.
It's like what? Like on the last talk we had, it's just like how Democrats passed her over and then just like wasn't even considering, and now their expectations are kind of being expected at this point. It's like, see, this is kind of reason why we didn't want her in the first place, kind of thing. Because by this point, it's just a snowball, just getting bigger and bigger.
It's like I said before in the last video, they knew her limitations. They knew a lot of this stuff when she said she wanted the transgender, and maybe we'll roll in the clip.
When I was Attorney General, I learned that the California Department of Corrections, that they were standing in the way of surgery.
For prisoners.
For prisoners. And there was a specific case. And when I learned about the case, I worked behind the scenes to not only make sure that that transgender woman got the services she was deserving. So it wasn't only about that case. I made sure that they changed the policy in the state of California so that every transgender inmate in the prison system would have access to the medical care that they desired and need.
Taxpayer funded. We pay for that. And it's just like, what? And I think that is kind of more of the radical leftist Democratic side of Kamala, coming from California, right? Mm-hmm. Just all these just radical, just left-wing ideas. Like that that makes no sense in several different ways, but she actually said it.
But see, like that reverts back to how are you even gonna like pull this off? Because it's like seems from both sides. It's like what Trump says. It's like it's a talking point, but how are you going to pull it off? But the same with Kamala. It's a talking point, but how are you really going to pull that off? It's just like, but some of them, it's like that part. It was like, why do you think most people would agree with that or be okay with that or even think or even consider that or have that as a thought?
But here's the thing. When she was a senator and she said that, a senator's words really doesn't have much impact. If you can't write the bill, should I say, have Congress pass it, the Senate passes it, and then it gets signed by the president. You can say any radical thing you want as a senator, and it really has no impact until you try to run for a higher office. You try to run for a national election like a president. Now, all of that stuff that you said before, it's now going back to bite you because it's like now your words mean something. Is that what you really wanted to implement? And it's just like she's stuck between a rock and a hard place between her old words and now her not even really even addressing it, saying simply, "I'm just going to follow the law." And it's like you campaigned and you changed the law in California to include these things. So that means you would change the law to include these things again. The best indication of future performance is what you've done in the past. Very simple.
Right. Yeah.
So, with that being said, we got one more. We got one more. We're going to wind things down here. So here we go.
Y'all, I'm finna say this with my chest. If you don't vote in this election or you vote the wrong way and you're black, you deserve everything that you don't get. You deserve being overlooked for that job opportunity. You deserve getting pulled over driving while black. You deserve racial inequality. You deserve having to have a job with a non-livable wage. You deserve the fact that you're going to have student loan debt for the next 25 years. You deserve not being able to buy a house and build generational wealth.
Get the fuck out of here, little nigga. Take that dumb shit with you.
Okay, go ahead. Go for it. You got the floor. What do you think?
Shout out to Snowfall. Love it. See, this what aggravates me, because it's just like that extreme leftist, left wing, liberal, all that bullshit. It's like, yo, you just take it to the extreme. It's like, shut up.
Yeah.
All because they don't align or they agree with your ideas, or they're just not doing what you want everybody else to do or follow you. It's just like, you don't have to take it to the extreme and say all that, because for you to say that and you support Kamala, and she's trying to get our vote, right? She's trying to get us to vote for vote for her or against Trump. It's just it's very contradicting, because saying we deserve that, it's not the best choice of words.
Yeah, and true. And here's the thing. It's like, since when has the government supposed to be able to bail you out of all your bad decisions? Like student loans, that's a choice you make, right? That's a choice I make. That will be a choice that you make.
Yeah.
Like, right? The government is not meant to fix all of your problems. You'll have student loan debt. You're the one who took out the student loans. So the federal government's supposed to do something about that. And I know Biden has wiped away some of it, whatever. I mean, it is what it is. You still get pulled over by the police driving while black. Racial inequality. You're not going to get that job. Isn't all that shit still happening now? And even if it is it super significant to where it's detrimental to everyone else? Like it seems like, and I'm gonna go on a little rant here. It seems like what she seems like is the parent of she has a son, right? And she's trying to scare him into doing what she wants him to do. That's what it seems like to me. You can't parent via fear, right? You just can't tell somebody, oh, don't go across the street, you will get hit by a car. No, you can't tell them that. You got to tell them about, hey, watch out for the traffic. It's this, it's that. It's cars coming both ways. Make sure you look both ways before you go across the street. But she just wants people to vote for Kamala out of fear. Like she said, you're going to get exactly what you don't deserve, or something like that. Something weird that she said. Like, the government's not there to bail you out. The government's not there to solve all your problems. It's your life. You make those decisions. I didn't sign the dotted line for you to get a student loan. You did. Now you want the government to take all of it off your back. You want the government to give you down payment assistance so you could buy a house and create generational wealth. How does that make sense? Government gives you money so you can create generational wealth. That doesn't make any sense. How's everybody else buy homes? Maybe if you didn't have all that goddamn student loan debt, maybe you would be able to buy a house. You got a $200,000 student loan debt for a job that pays you $50,000 a year. That math ain't mathing. Math ain't mathing. Hey man, it is what it is. But again, I don't know where her mindset is, or what fear-based approach she's trying to take. Nobody's trying to hear that.
I think
that shit.
It could be another version of that shaming tactic.
Yes.
It's just another way it's just another tactic just to vote for her.
Just like Obama with the shaming tactics, Magic Johnson, Spike Lee did it, Pastor Jamal Bryant. Again, I don't know where they feel like this shaming tactic works.
But do you really think like they're not getting paid for this? Because there's no way like Democratic parties are going up to them and saying like, hey, we want you to say this, this, and that. Just because we want you to, just so they could vote for her.
I think if you're already wealthy, now let's say they give the average let's say they give an influencer, right? Let's say, okay, in order to promote Kamala, we're going to give you $10,000 a month. Possibly smaller content or content creators be like, okay, I'll take that. $10,000 a month doesn't move the needle for Barack Obama. It doesn't move the needle for Spike Lee. Doesn't move the needle for Jamal Brown. It certainly doesn't move the needle for Magic Johnson.
Yeah.
It is, they now have continued access to power. They can call up Kamala. Hey, Kamala, I need XYZ. Can you show up to my fundraiser? Can you do this? Can you do that? They're doing it so they can have access to power. Because Trump gets in office, guess who ain't going to be at the White House? Pastor Jamal Brown, Spike Lee. They're not going to be at the White House. But if Kamala's in office, they all have a seat at the table. Barack Obama gets to extend his policies by a way he's already done it via Joe Biden. Joe Biden was essentially the third Obama presidency, right? The third term of Obama's presidency.
Mm-hmm.
And then if Kamala gets elected, she then extends Obama's legacy. So Obama's protecting his legacy because when Trump got in office, he erased a lot of the things Obama did.
Okay.
Yeah. Hell yeah. They're playing a dirty game. They're playing a dirty game, and it's not financial.
Yeah, about to be even worse at this point.
So, as we said at the very beginning, Obama's October surprise. Obama dropped this in Kamala campaign's lap, and I believe that I won't say that this is the primary reason she loses the election, but I think this definitely assisted her in potentially losing. You don't want this type of negativity, especially all this angst and media attention that it's caused. Because like I said, when I was researching this, there were tons of information that I could have used. You know, the MSNBC interviews with the black people, the black men in the barbershop, and they were interviewing like couples, or it seemed like couples. I think they were in Philadelphia interviewing black people. And it was, it was like a younger guy and it was like an older woman. And everybody is kind of just like, nah, man, this ain't it. The Democrats are going in the wrong direction. Kamala, you're in office right now.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yes. And it's like, you're in office right now. How can you say you're going to change something when you're in office right now? Do it right now. And I understand the role of the vice president. But if there were things she wanted to get passed and things she could have influenced Joe Biden, be like, hey, this is what I would like to see happen. Now, she's not passing anything. She can't, she can go talk to the senators and the congresspersons and say, hey, this is what I want to move forward.
Mm-hmm.
And this would be the same thing if she's president, except now she's the one making the decision. She could have leveraged Joe Biden to get some things done that she wanted to get done, but she didn't. She just sat back and has done absolutely nothing for the past 3.5 years.
See, but here's the thing with that, though. It's like, yeah, she can do it now, but what else can she talk about if she did it already? Like, what else is there for her to do? Like, because hear me out. Is like, say if she did it now, like did what she was talking about. Say if she, the whole Roe v. Wade discussion. Like, say she,
right?
Yeah, say she did that, and then that's like a huge chunk done already. So it's like, it's great that she, she's practiced what she preaches. Great.
Mm-hmm.
But what else would she talk about? Like, what else is there for her to? Because if you see the ads, like, this is just one example, because there's plenty of other examples. But like, if you see the ads, that's one of her main points. It's just about the Roe v. Wade and women's rights.
And that's what I mentioned last week. 80% of her campaign, up until I think she only had like 13 weeks. Other than the past 3 weeks, 90% of her campaign was women's rights. That was it. That was it. She just felt like she could just lean on that and just glide into the office of the presidency. And this is the thing. Biden also believes in preserving women's rights. So if they're both in office now, they both have the same view of supporting women's rights. Why haven't they done it?
Yeah,
why haven't they done it?
I was looking up like policies and all that, and they said like Kamala's is basically following up what Biden's was. And it's just like how you said it. Biden was all for like women's rights and everything. And it's just like, why isn't a big question of like, Biden, why didn't you do anything here? It could have been done. It could have been done already.
Exactly.
Unless unless they knew that Kamala was about to run for president. Because didn't she try to run before?
She was in the primary and she was one of the first people bounced. Nobody wanted to hear it. Nobody wanted to hear what she had to say. I mean, it's true.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, maybe he didn't. So,
but we talked about this a little bit last week. I don't think that they knew she was going to run because it was his disastrous debate performance where he wasn't on his A game. He wasn't even on his D game. That was a straight Z. That was awful. He got a complete 0, and then they kind of, elevated her to the kind of assume the role of, wanting to be elected, but she was bounced. She was bounced, Yeah. So with that being said, Obama's October surprise. Any final words, Dante, as we wrap up this episode?
no, not much. It's just what's been said above our heads. The wise words of DeMarcus Cousins. Like, I don't know, this whole I really feel like each election it just gets more ridiculous, because there's the whole Trump and Clinton, and then Trump and Biden, and then like now Trump and Harris. Like,
DeMarcus Cousins was a prophet.
Yeah.
Really ridiculous. It's really ridiculous. He was a prophet. Oh goodness. But yeah, so another good conversation, Dante. Thoroughly enjoyed hashing these things out with you, because this is what we'll be talking about, right? Normal family business type things. Heirs on Air. If you guys made it to this point, like, share, subscribe, because we just here talking family business. With that being said, Dante,
we out.